You just learned all about grammar, like how to conjugate irregular verbs, or what each part of speech is. But you knew how to talk long before knowing all that. As far back as you can remember, you've been able to ask for what you want, tell your friends how you feel, or even explain how to throw a baseball to your little brother. But did you ever wonder how you first learned to talk? How did you ever say a sentence without knowing what a verb is? How long did it take you to learn how to speak? Who taught you how to talk? Not so easy to answer. Luckily, we have some language detectives here to help us out. Let's see what they have to say.
Hi everyone, I'm Detective Behavior Scene. I think that teaching someone how to talk is just like teaching your dog new tricks. When your dog does something you like, you give him a treat. Since he likes the treat, he'll keep doing the trick, in hopes of getting more treats. Children are the same way. When a child says something like Dada, and his dad picks him up, he'll say Dada again when he wants to be picked up. Kids learn language by repeating what they hear and imitating adults around them too.
But Detective, wait! Children don't always say the same things adults say. Have you ever heard an adult say things like, I goed home yesterday? But my little brother says stuff like this all the time. And if it's true that teaching kids how to talk is just like teaching a dog new tricks, why can't I teach my pet monkey how to speak? And my dog is way more obedient than my friend's dog because I teach my dog differently. But all kids across the world learn language in about the same time and same order, even though they all have different people teaching them and are all learning in different places. And besides, it takes forever to teach a dog new tricks, but kids learn language so fast.
Well, it seems there is some debate on this matter. Let's see what another language detective has to say.
Hi everyone, I'm Inspector McDevelopment. I'm interested in learning if kids learn the language the same way they learn how to do other things like riding a bike. Or long division. As babies grow, they go through different stages. For example, small babies only care about objects and actions like mom, or ball, or eat. Ah, the easy life. The same way, the language of small babies only cares about objects and actions, and they say things like, mail come, or see baby. When babies first speak, they can only babble. They start being able to say things that sound like real words like bar or d. Finally, they can say real words and later complex sentences. Does that mean, though, that when babies are babbling, they're expressing what they think, feel, or need? When your little brother says Baba, what he may really mean is my bottle is empty. May I please have another? What really happens then is that as kids start using longer sentences, they are getting better at expressing their ideas in ways that you and I can understand.
Gee, Inspector McDevelopment, that's interesting. But the most interesting thing of all is how quickly children learn language. Did you know that 18-month-old children learn a new word every 2 hours? 2 hours! Children don't learn other things nearly as fast as they learn language, even without being in school.
Fascinating. Let's hear from our final language detective. Hey y'all, my name is Dr. O'Social. My research shows me that children learn language because it is important for social interaction. Imagine not being able to talk to your friends during recess. Kids don't just learn grammar and vocabulary, but also how to use language. For example, do you speak to your teacher the same way you speak to your best friend? That might get you in trouble sometimes. And sometimes, language can get tricky. When someone says, excuse me, are they saying sorry or trying to get your attention? Because you know how language works to communicate with others. You'll be able to figure out what they mean. Children even learn how to use language the right way, even if adults set bad examples. For example, a mother might say to her child, time to go bye-bye. But by now, you know adults don't speak like this and have learned to say, time to leave. Dr. O'Social is right. Language can indeed be tricky. Let's explore a little more. When we look at a sentence, we can always look at it in two ways. We can look at its surface structure and its deep structure. Let's look at the sentence. There's a fork in the road. The surface structure is simply what we write or say. For example, the surface structure is the sentence itself. There's a fork in the road. The deep structure is what the sentence means, its basic idea. For our sentence, there are two deep structures, or two meanings. First, it can mean that the road is splitting into two roads. It could also mean that a fork is sitting in the middle of the road. Children must learn both the surface structure and the deep structure of language in order to communicate. Luckily, though, children are born with the natural ability for language. Though children all over the world are learning different languages, some aspects of the language are universal. Since children are born with a special knack for language in general, all they have to do is figure out the specifics of English or Spanish or whatever language it is that they speak. So even though we can't explain why or even how, we can use language to communicate with our teachers, friends, and parents. Even though there's a lot of debate about how we learn language, even though our language detectives may never agree on everything, we can all be thankful that we are born with a special gift for language.